Alrighty then. Everything I believe is set up. I've got the fancy overlay so I can have the background without revealing my social security number. There we go. See, I can go like up, 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 up. Nice. Okay. So I want to get this trait functional. Every 24 hours, permanently lose 5 hit points. Unlock a special reward. Don't really... Making the reward isn't really important at this stage. But I do want to get the quest that will manage this. NVM quest trait. And just call it Dead Man. Quest. Dead Man walking. This is unimportant, but I can just do it anyway. Okay. Cancel. New quest. SCN NVM script quest Dead Man. No. I think the most sensible way is every 24 in-game hours. Well, What is the best way to do this? Okay. Int total days. I think we want a variable for that because we're going to be using get game days past because I think that's the most reliable way. Let me pull it up on the handy dandy get quickie here. Get days. Game days. Get days past. Days past. Get game days past. Okay, I was right the second time. Okay, this is a JIP function. Interesting. I thought it was a vanilla one. Using this function is preferable to game days past. I guess. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. They're like time functions. Yes, this is a very helpful category. Toggle disable saves. Oh, that's interesting. What is the default time scale? Minutes that pass in game within 1 minute of real life. What is the default time scale? I think it's 30? Maybe I'll say it here. Or not. I'm pretty sure it's 30. I'll just go in game and check real quick. Get time scale. Get time get is time scale. I'm like 90% sure it's 30, but I really want to check. Let me Google this real quick. I guess default time scale. 30, right. Well, this says it's 30. So an entire day would be 24 minutes. Let me see. Block types. Begin, menu mode, drop. Just trying to think of what the most efficient way to do this would be. It's probably gonna have to be game mode, which isn't the worst thing in the world. Begin alt. Okay, so begin game mode. If get game days passed is greater than total days, set total days to get game days passed. Player.modav health -5. Just turn this off. Okay. Message X. Health reduced. Okay. So, I mean, in theory, this is all I should need, right? In theory. Guess I'll do that. And script quested, man. How does this? This is like in seconds. Let me look this up real quick. Class, where is the quest data? Script processing delay. Okay, it's in seconds. So 24 minutes is a day. So I think I want to set this to... what's 24 times 60? 25 times 60. 1500? Wait, is my mathing? I may be dumb. $25 minutes times 60, that would give me 25 minutes in seconds, right? 1500 divided by 60. Yes, I must be stupid. Okay, so I set this to 1500. That's... I don't know, would that cause problems later down the line? Would this eventually get out of sync with the 24-hour day cycle? Theoretically. Why don't I just do it half as many times? And that way it should guarantee check off every time it should. Okay. So let me just go in game and see how this works out. It should pop up this debug message every time it activates. SGTM 300. Oop, that was a little too high. Oh gosh. Oh, ah. Okay, well there's the message. Unfortunately, SGTM 50. Oop. Oop. Okay. Oh. Oh my goodness. Okay, the time multiplier should not be this high because it's causing strange things to happen. Okay. Okay, second of all, I'm realizing this doesn't quite work. I think I need to create a new character so that Get Game Days Past, like, is functional? Or wait, does that matter? What did I write exactly? If Get Game Days Past is greater than total days, do the thing. So that should be fine. Let me just make a new character and well, hold on. Let me do this first of all. Dead man, do not start game enabled. Instead, start quest. Use perk. Dead man. Entry. Quest Envium. Quest Dead man. 10. Let me just add this. Message X. Dead man starts. Okay, so let's do this. Nope, shut the hell up. Okay. Touch the knob. Alright, up, Doc. I've got a trait to test. Let's do this real quick. I should give Doc Mitchell a more interesting face texture. He's very bland. Okay. Dead man walking. 24 hours, you lose 5 hit points. Dead man, start. There was my belly button. Okay. So, SGTM 10. Let's just see how often this goes. Let me speed this up. SGTM 30. Oh. And the game does not like having the time scale messed with, does it? Health reduced. Okay. I think maybe I could set, when you take the trait, I go ahead and set total days to 1, and then I think it'll give you like 1 free day, quote unquote. Like it won't count the first day. Oh, it activated twice now. That's not how this is supposed to work at all. Oh, hey, Ding Ding. Talk without gloves is kind of... Yeah, I removed the gloves from that outfit on a whim. And I agree, it's kind of cursed looking. He's like, he shouldn't have hands. That's just unnatural. Sorry if there was a delay on responding. I can't see the chat when I have the game pulled up. Okay, so I am mistaken in my assumptions how this works, which means I need to drink more coffee. Get game days passed. Wait, do I just have this backwards? Should I just flip total days with get game days passed? Total days. Get game days passed. Oh wait, no, that doesn't make any sense. Because then this just wouldn't activate at all. Because total days would never be higher. Maybe I'm just complicating this by trying to use game days past. But it seems like the simplest way to measure 24 hours passing. And that's obviously not working. It's been a while since I scripted anything, so I'm having trouble conceptualizing how this should look. Maybe if I write it out. Every 24 hours, check if the number of days that have passed is greater than the variable. If the days that have passed are greater, increment the variable and reduce the player's health by 5. Oh yeah, likewise, no worries. There's unavoidably a delay either way for when I see them and they pop up. It is a successor to Oxmod, just because when I publish this, I'm going to delist Oxmod because in my opinion there will be no reason for it, or maybe I won't. I am making some like maybe controversial choices in this mod. Yeah, like one thing I was going to do is after you're level 30, you only get half as many skill points, which I see as kind of like a compromise of like preserving the original game's balance, like before all the DLCs increase the level cap while still allowing you to continue to grow in power. And I feel like because people like perks, so I wouldn't want to take perks from them. But skill points, I feel, are fair game. But yeah, I also have it to where after level 30, you no longer gain health when you level up. So again, it's kind of bringing the game back, the courier back to the power level pre-DLC a little bit. But what I'm trying to do right now, I wanted to add like some new content and unlockables, like to give a reason to like actually play with this mod. And one of the ideas I had was a trait that kills you slowly, essentially. Every 24 hours, you lose 5 hit points permanently, and when that hits 0, you do just die. I'm trying to figure out how to script that, and it's not really coming to me. But yeah, I'm doing this instead of updating Oxmod because that mod is just old and not put together all that well, and it'd just be a nightmare to update instead of just doing something new entirely. I did a lot of things in like some kind of dumb ways. And now I've done them in smarter ways. What was my phone bothering me for? Yes, thank you for messaging me that a live stream has gone active on my channel, YouTube. Okay. Well, I think this is working. It's just going off too frequently. Let me close this. Like, honestly, before I go messing with the script processing delay, because that's just an optimization. That doesn't really matter. I just need to make this only go off once every 24 hours. Yeah, I'm not sure what I really want for unlockables. I was going to have the Vault 13 canteen just be a reward for beating the game on hardcore mode. Because I mean, that item was always kind of like a cheat, but not like much of one. So I figured it makes sense to implement it that way. Because I couldn't really think of a more sensible way to implement that pre-order DLC otherwise. And you know, it like I said, it's like kind of a cheat item, but you would feel like you earned it because you beat the game at least once without it on hardcore mode. I always remember when New Vegas was announced, and they announced that they were going to have like, oh, the hardcore mode. It adds all these extra challenges, and they're like, oh, when you beat the game, you'll receive a special reward for doing it. It's like, oh, I wonder what it is. And in my little teenager brain, I was like, oh, that would be so awesome. Like you unlock the ability to play as a super mutant. Oh, that would be so cool. And then the game came out, and you just get an achievement. uh. A little bit of my innocence was lost that day. Okay. So, hold on. Let me just go in-game again. So this should, unless quest script delays don't update mid-save, which would be annoying. And I feel like that's the case. Unless, maybe this is working fine, and me just screwing with the time scale. Well, not the time scale, the time multiplier was just fucking everything over. So let me just do this. Let me do 24 hours. Does Stewie Tweaks have a setting to speed this up? I feel like it does. I might need to use that. Okay, there was no message. Let me see. Is there a thing that does this? Waits. I could have sworn there was something that sped up the waiting time. Just give it a few more hours for it to maybe kick in. Shit. So is this just not working now, or is this not... Oh, well, I unticked this, but I'm not sure that would matter. Okay, let me plug this back in. Let me just make sure. I was thinking for possible rewards, like maybe you get a gold version of the starting weapon for beating the game with a character that starts with that relevant combat skill as a tagged skill. I thought that was maybe an interesting idea. On that note, I actually changed the starting guns weapon from the 9mm to the 22 revolver, which is the 32 pistol from New Vegas, kind of re-implemented. Because I feel like 22 is pretty underused. This is like a nice, like, a higher damage alternative to the silenced pistol, but has more damage to compensate. Get quest running in NVM quest dead man. Okay, that is running. For all I know, this wouldn't cue the corner message that's supposed to say that this worked. I guess what I should do, which should be easier to track. Oh, faster sleep weight. Let me activate that. It's for next time I start the game, because you gotta restart the game when you turn the tweaks on. Faster sleep. I could have sworn this was a thing. Category quality of life off. I have the most recent version, so I would assume it would be here unless it was removed. Anyway, I guess it doesn't really matter, because if I just turn this on, uncommentate this, that'll at least show that the health was reduced. Maybe. I know Stewie does have like certain features like split off from the main download. Okay. "24 hours. 24 hours pass and see if we lose the health." Okay, didn't lose health. Let me just give it a little more time. Okay, yeah, this isn't working. God, there's a flaw in my logic, and it's really annoying that I can't see it. Okay, begin game mode. How do I need to write this out? Set days to get game days passed. If days... Oh, hold on. Well, let me just write this out before I start questioning the logic. If days is less than gets game added. I'm already seeing problems with this. Game days past. Set player.modav health -5 and if. Okay, this obviously doesn't work. When I started the stream, I was like, oh, I'm gonna look so smart as I come up with these awesome, like, scripts that are, like, efficient, and then I'm, like, get stuck immediately. It's like, fuck, what was I thinking? Okay, if get game days passed. If. I think I need to compare. I need to have the number of days passed stored, so every 24 hours I can check if game days passed is higher. Because if it's higher, we subtract health. So, days logged. If days logged is less than get game days passed, set days logged to get game days passed. Player.modav health -5. Shut the hell up. This should be it, right? Okay, so I do this. Okay, it's too late for this to matter, but I want to go ahead and set this to set mvm quest deadman dot days logged to 1, just so you get 1 day with 100 health. Well, you're like starting health. And then this should work, unless I'm dumb, and I may very well be. You know what? Let me download the fucking faster sleep weight. Like, I'll play your game. I know why you're doing this. I know why you're doing this, Stewie, and I won't hold it against you. Okay. Well, this is uploaded in 2019, so this... If this ever was in Stewie's Tweaks, he must have removed it a while ago. Unless... I don't fucking know. I don't really care, either. Okay. Come on. Fucking Nexus Mod Manager. What the hell is it? Come on, do the thing. I'm like the one YouTuber who uses you, and you won't even launch automatically when I try to download a mod. Okay. Deploying. Okay. There we go. Okay. Faster sleep. Here we go. Don't scale the time scale. Sure. Now, is this the default or... Well, I mean, we can just pop this puppy right up to 900. Wait. Caps lock? Number lock? Hmm. Well, this doesn't feel much faster. Did I accidentally not turn it on? Tweaks. Faster. I didn't fucking turn it on. Whoops. Okay, but also, Dead Man did not seem to actually trigger, which is annoying. Oh, it did. There we go. Ah, we lost 5 health. Good. Okay. Okay, well now that I have faster sleep, wait, why don't we just see how frequently this goes. Oh, again, this doesn't... Is this actually going faster? Did I accidentally forget to turn it on again? Or is this the speed it caps out with? Ooh. That's not good. I lost 10 health. Christ almighty. Don't scale. Oh, did I slow it down on accident? Did I might have done that. Okay, 119, why not? Well, it activated more than once, which I don't really understand why it did that. Because it should be setting days logged to get game days passed, so when I lose the health, it shouldn't do it again until game days passed is increased. Strange. Okay. Alrighty then. Actually, since I added that safety feature for the first day, why don't I make a new character again so I can properly start? Shut the hell up, Lulu. Once we get to go through this song and dance again. Maybe I could give Doc a custom outfit where he wears like the surgical gloves with his outfit. Just to make him look a little bit more unique. I don't know. It's kind of an arbitrary change, but there's going to be a lot of arbitrary changes in this mod because it's like it's my personal mod that like I'm sharing. Like that's what this mod is more than anything, is like just making a lot of changes that I would make as somebody who's put way too many hours into this. And if some other people have fun with it, that's good too. Should also go ahead and fix this bug with the lighting here. There's no light coming through the windows because the game, for some reason, starts at like 12, like in the middle of the night, even though when we exit, it's daylight. And that's because right before we exit, the time gets set. Oh. Okay. Dead man might be going a little too early. Okay, that's not working correctly. I don't think that challenge is beatable. Okay, this is clearly not working. This is going off way too often, which I don't understand why it is. Okay. Okay. So what the hell's going on here? Why would this be going more often than once a day? Is there just a better way I could be measuring time? Maybe I'm just making things more annoying by relying on that. Get day of week. I could use this. Well, no, wait. Yeah, I thought... Well, I'm not using Yup because Nope came out and it's something different. Which this mod will actually require Nope because I'm lazy and cannot be fucking bothered to deal with forwarding fixes. And with all the little edits I'm doing, it's just simpler for me. Okay, can I use this? The game starts on a specific day, so theoretically I could use this to measure time. Although... Arg. I just don't... Why is this not working properly? If days logged is less than game days passed. Give him a hat. Maybe a cane he would use to walk around. Mentions having a bum leg. Yeah, actually, that's something I tried to do with Ranger Andy in this mod. I wanted to give him an ability that cripples his leg, so he walks around as a character does when they have a crippled leg. It cripples his leg, but his animation doesn't update. I haven't figured out why yet. Livestream marathon, I know, back to back to back. It's crazy. I'm on a roll. At least when I'm not, like, stuck with basic scripting like I am now. Begin game mode. Why would this not work? Wait a minute, hold on. I think I read something. Doesn't this start at, like... Okay, well, no, that shouldn't matter. So game days pass, that starts at 5, but I guess this wouldn't. Let me use the vanilla function. Let me just see if this works better if I use the vanilla function. Maybe it just can't... That would explain it, but... Well, ultimately, it doesn't really make a difference, because the fact of the matter is regardless, this should only be happening once a day. So it shouldn't just kill instantly. Because this is a game mode script, so it's running every 5 frames by default, I believe is how it works, because of the quest script delay thing. Yeah, like, the problem is this if statements. This should be saying only do this if the days logged is less than game days passed. And if it is, we set days logged to game days passed, which should mean that it only goes once. Because after it goes once, days logged will equal game days passed. Let me just see if this works better if I use the vanilla function instead of the JIP one.
Means I get to do the intro again. Yay! Because I fell over dead.
Something I did with this intro, actually, is, you know, right before you leave, Doc, like, gives you the suit and the Pip-Boy, and it was always really awkward because you just get this spam of Vault Suit added, Vault Suit equipped, Pip-Boy added, Pip-Boy equipped, Pip-Boy glove added, Pip-Boy glove equipped. I condensed that so it only says that the vault suit and the Pip-Boy are equipped at the appropriate times. So just a little like improvements to the presentation. Okay. You did horribly. I also disabled the little tutorial messages that pop up in the corner during this segment, like, here's how you grab stuff. Press this to jump for no reason. Which was actually surprisingly, like, tricky to do, because those little tutorial messages are hidden in all sorts of, like, different places. They're hidden in, like, the quest stages and the quest scripts and, like, in, like, multiple different quests. In some dialogue result scripts, and it's like, Jesus Christ. God forbid I don't learn how to use the grab function, which is used for like one mini unmarked quest in the game. I also made the hardcore mode prompts, like I removed it and just have hardcore mode on by default, which will be a requirement for any challenge traits like Deadman. Okay, save. Let's see. Oh, I have 55 HP. Why do I have 55 HP? Ah, there we go. This is really not working at all how I thought it would. Okay, well, hold on. I only lost... Wait a minute. Did I fuck something up with, like, the initial thing or whatever? Let me wait 24 hours again. Let me wait just 4 hours. Okay. Now I'm not losing any health at all. This is such a simple thing, and for some fucking reason, I can't figure it out. What the fuck, that voice? Well, I'm such a talented voice actor, aren't I? Yeah, that item and DLC. Yeah, I actually did something what I felt was very interesting, and I don't think anyone else has ever done with the DLC weapons. I implemented the sturdy caravan shotgun and the mercenary grenade rifle as weapon mods. They're just new mods that you can find at basically just vendors that would ordinarily sell low tier weapon mods. So there's the caravan shotgun sturdy parts and the grenade rifle walnut stock. Does TGM not stop you from losing health? It shouldn't in theory, because I'm like reducing base health via scripts. Do you disable the message when you pick up the Brahmin skull in the other room? Huh? I wonder if that skull is related to... I have no idea what you're talking about. Hold on. Do I have to be in the tutorial for that? Is there a secret Easter egg I never knew about? Or not even an Easter egg, but like a bug? What is this? Well, I didn't get a message. I feel so left out. Oh, I have lost more health. Wait a second. Is this... Now that is odd. Okay, I thought it was like activating when I went through a door, but that is not the case. But I did lose health. Maybe God mode does prevent scripts from lowering your health. That would be weird, but that seems to be the case. I would not have expected that. But now it's not lowering again. Either way, it's still not working appropriately regardless. Yeah, the Brahmin skull gives a tutorial message when you grab it. I thought that the grab tutorial just popped up automatically. Does it like say something specific about like the skull? Hold on, I need to investigate this. Where's Doc Mitchell's house? Because I never knew this. Oh, it is an activator. Fire the Brahmin line, otherwise we'll do so later. Oh, Doc Mitchell says something about it. I had no idea. Is it? Huh. I guess I was just always too polite. Meanwhile, you heathens are upending his house. I mean, I threw a baseball at him. He didn't say anything about that. Christ oh fucking mighty.
This seems like such a simple script, and yet it doesn't work as I would expect.
Well, first of all, let me add message X. health reduced, just so I don't have to check the Pip-Boy for when this appears. Oh, right. Huh, that's actually I didn't realize there were any instances of that in the vanilla game, but that's actually a technique I do where I use non-verbal, like, dialogue result scripts to do certain things. Andre from VTMB? I am unfamiliar. Did I make a reference on accident? Wait, I read something on here. This said something about game days past is actually a float variable. Right. But I'm storing days logged as an int. So maybe what's happening here is the runoff on the float variable is like days logged is managing to still be less than game days past. Ah! That makes sense in my mind. Oh. No worries, I was just curious. Okay, so this makes sense to me. Okay, so if we store days logged as a float, that should prevent problems with runoff. I strongly believe, because that would explain why it stopped. It wasn't constant. It just seemed to go in, like, bursts. That would make so much fucking sense. Oh my god, I'm a genius. Okay, let me... player.modav... Hills 45, just get myself back up to base levels. Health reduced. Health reduced. Health reduced. Okay, this is still going off way more often than it should be, but hey! I think we did solve a problem. We did solve a problem, because now this is consistent. Okay, so the only problem here now is that it's going off too often. But we solved the problem with it being just seemingly completely random and arbitrary in nature. But this still needs to be fixed because maybe I'm bad at video games, but I don't think this will give you enough time to complete the game. Let alone complete the game and all the DLCs, which is what I think I should really do with the potential unlock you can get from Dead Man. By the way, the art from these perks, like this one and there are others, these come from Jesus H. Christ's resources. Some of them I've just used straight, and some of them I've kind of edited. This one I've edited to, like, put the Grim Reaper with this camper guy, and I also, like, fixed up his cloak because he was, like, covered in blood initially. I want to put some kind of in-game Easter egg as, like, credits to them. It's like, obviously I'm going to credit them on the mod page itself when the mod is released, but I would like to do something fun for them in-game too, because it's it's really such a great resource they've kind of given to the community, and really like inspired me to like come up with new perks and trait ideas and have them feel like they belong in the game. She did a flip. Okay. Sweet. Still not there, but we made progress. So I think this is just going off every time the script processing delay is going off. Days logged. Right. So how do we fix this going off so often? Are we just not using the right symbol? Hmm. Do I need another variable? I'm just trying to visualize. Why doesn't this work how I think it works? If days logged is less than game days passed, set days logged to game days passed. So at that point, in my mind, it just shouldn't go anymore. Oh, did I... Maybe I fucked it up adding this. Days logged. We set days logged to 1 initially. So what happens then? So days logged equals 1. So it would be... It would still be less, I think. Hold on. Yeah, because I read in the wiki, right? Game days passed actually starts out at 5, I believe? Game days passed. Get game days passed. Can I not check this? Oh, there we go. Yeah, so this started out at 6. 6.3 at the time of leaving. Right. But that shouldn't matter more than once, right? Well, hold on. Let me go back to using this since I figured out the thing with the float variable. Maybe. What does days logged? It's the variable that I'm using to track oh god, this sounds so stupid now that I'm having to explain it out loud. Days logged is the variable we are using to check if the amount of days that have actually passed is equal to... Oh, fuck. I feel like such an idiot because like I'm trying to explain this and I realize I can't. Ah. All right, let me try to formulate this. What am I using this for? Who am I? Where am I? We are checking days logged against game days past to see if it is less than or equal to. If it is less than, we set days logged to make it equal to game days past. Oh, right, yeah. Basically, the idea is if days logged is less than game days past, then we set it equal and reduce the health by 5, which in my mind, which may be jumping a few steps, says that this health reduction should only happen once a day. But that's clearly not the case. But I think the reason this isn't working simply comes down to the fact that game days past starts out at a value higher than 0, which is kind of what this is assuming. So maybe... Oh god, we're gonna have to go through the tutorial again. Or no. Okay, so if I set this to... I think I need to set days logged to 7 initially. Wait, what the hell? 7. Was listed in decimals. Well, that was why changing days logged from an int variable, which is always a whole number, to a float variable, which includes decimals, fixed the irregularity of the health drain. So the only problem is that this is just happening way more often than it should be, which is, I believe it's just happening every time the script is processed, every 5 seconds by default. Now, I guess what I could do is increase the script processing delay to roughly equal the 24-hour cycle, but I'm not sure if that is consistent. Like, does waiting cause quest script delay to, like, go? Like, still count? That I'm not sure, which is why I'm not doing that yet, but it may very well be end up what I'm doing. But I think I'm gonna go in game again, and I'm going to set days log to 7. Because I think the problem is that it's just out of sync, because get game days past starts at a value higher than 0. Alright, so NVM quest sets NVM quest deadman dot days logged to 7. Right, now if this worked, we shouldn't get those continual messages, I think. Okay. So far, so good. My health already being low is expected. Let me just do that real quick and I'll be safe. Let's save this one. Right. So, now if I wait 24 hours, maybe 25, 26. Health reduced. Okay. Health reduced. Okay, so all I did was delay the problem. Okay. So again, the problem remains is that all I did was delay the issue. But I guess this is sort of not the problem. Why is this not working how I think? Oh, I know why it's not working. It's again because of the decimals. Because those decimal numbers are always going up. So game days past tracks the decimals, so it's always going up. And is therefore always going to be higher because, yeah, fuck. Shit. So, okay, here's what we do. We turn game days past into an int variable, into a whole number. Days logged total. Yeah, I think that's what you were trying to tell me, Ding. And it only just clicked. Okay, so yeah. Set days logged total to days logged is less than days logged. I'm not sure the name of these variables makes sense anymore, but okay. Yes. Or hold on, wait, I'm missing a step. Do I need to also simultaneously set days logged to game days past? Do I need to do this? Well, first of all, okay, yeah. Right. We need two int variables because we want to shave off the decibels. So if days logged is less than days logged total, right, okay, hold on. So I think we don't need this anymore, because now we're not directly measuring the days. Make sure that actually deleted, because sometimes it doesn't. Okay. Okay, so... Oh, but we need something outside of this if statement. Set days logged total to get game to game days past. Game days past. Okay, so every time this fires, we are checking how many game days past and assigning that to days logged total. And so if days logged is less than days logged total, set days logged to days logged total. Okay, we don't need this anymore. Is this the way? Trying to think just before I should just go in game and test, but this feels right. Okay, I'm not sure. I might still have it wrong, but I think that's just because the names of the variables are kind of confusing because they don't really mean anything. They're just names at this point. Okay, so I just realized I don't really need to go through this tutorial. I can just do COC Good Springs. Show trait menu. Dead man walking. Dead man starts. Health reduced. Messages, messages, messages. Okay, so I know why that happened. And it will be simple to fix. Okay, so... let me wait 24 hours. Health reduced. My God. Dare I say it is working as envisioned? What a time to be alive. My God, it's actually working, isn't it? There's a little bit of a extra bit of delay each 24-hour cycle, which makes me think eventually it's going to get out of sync. But I don't know how much that will ultimately matter. Because at least it's working. It's happening roughly once every 24 hours. Let me check. Is this actually, like, taking longer? Health reduced. Okay, so that took roughly 3 in-game minutes. Let's see if that increases. That was roughly 2 minutes. Oh, roughly 3 minutes. Okay, so I think it'll stay in sync. But that'll remain to be seen on a large enough, like, actual playthrough time scale. But I believe it is working. Happy days. And it was all because of float variable, like, non-whole number nonsense. As most things in life are. Neato. Okay, well, I believe that works well enough. I don't see any obvious problems with it. As always, math. Ah, math. The cause and solution to all of life's problems. Okay, well, it all worked out in the end. I guess there was another perk that I guess I could work on here. So, as I mentioned, I have added the 32 pistol as a 22 pistol in this mod. And because this is a Overhaul mod that's just broadly adds new content, I took it upon myself, because I felt it was appropriate, to add a unique version of the 22 pistol. I also have the double-barreled shotgun here, which I do want to do a unique version of that, but I'm not entirely certain about what I want to do with it, both effect and aesthetic-wise. But anyway, this is the little black gun, and what I want to do is it's right here. Scales critical damage when using this gun inversely to the user's DT and DR. So the lower those are, the bigger bonus you get. So that should actually be relatively simple, I imagine. Especially since we're doing it via a hidden perk. So really, the only thing is I could just set this up with like a million conditions, but I kind of want to do it the smart way. Although what would the smart way look like? Just make it less like rigidly defined. How do we do that? So we get actor value. Damage threshold. So it's the glass cannon? Yes, essentially. That's why I put this little, the Joker, like, symbol, which is, like, historically, like, associated with the devil. It's, like, got a theme of temptation. So, like, you can do, theoretically, a ton of damage, but you have to place yourself at risk to get that damage. I was going to call it Old Scratch, but I believe that has been used in a Some Guy mod already. But anyway, how do I want to go about this? Is there, like, a dynamic way? 'Cause I could just use these conditions. Yeah, I figure I can't remember. It must have been 1 or 3 because I never played 2. I can't remember which one it was in, but I definitely remember that. Right. It's good. It would be an unlockable. I have it on this Lucky 38 rug, which I was like going to use as like a cheeky hint in the test cell as to where it would be, but I'm not sure I want to put it in the Lucky 38. That might be a little too easy to get for how powerful it might be. It just seems like a natural fit to hide it in Vegas somewhere. Or hell, I might even like make a new dungeon to hide it in. Cause this is an Overhaul mod, but it's kind of a weird Overhaul mod, I guess, cause like I'm not averse to like adding in like new content, so like a new dungeon wouldn't necessarily be out of the question. Can I get a percentage? Can I get an actor value as a percentage? Let me pull up the wiki, search through the functions. Get actor value. Yeah, that was my like second guess as I was thinking more about it. Maybe like in a secret floor of the Gamora or something, or like hidden in a suite. Maybe. I guess I could just hard code this, but that just seems so like ridiculous. Because I don't want to do like breakpoints where you have to be like a certain level like in points of like 8 or something. Like I want it to be very like fluid in the scaling. But I might just have to do it the dumb, like, overdone way. On that note, what are... Right. Alright, I was going to do the thing I did in Oxmod where I, like, sort, like, combat armor and such by, like, putting the modifier tag in front with a comma, but decided against that just because it always looks so tacky, even if I guess it does make the inventory more organized. Anyway, what is the theoretical max of DT that you can get? Can I organize these by... Yes, I can. Or no, I can't. Okay. So the single highest item with DT in the vanilla game, at least, is 25. Wait, no. Why the hell does this not work properly? 25 is not higher than 28. Are you high? I guess only DR works. Anyway. The highest DR is 30. The highest DT is 32. So I could just scale it on a point-by-point basis. Going with the theme of temptation, I might even, like, punish it with lower critical damage if you have, like, it above a certain threshold. But I think I'll actually have this as 2 separate effects, actually. So this one entry point will measure DR and the other will measure DT. And I'll just do that just for the sake of, like, simplifying conditions. Multiply value. Okay, so I want to multiply this. Ah, my god, this is gonna require so many entries and be so fucking dumb. Hold on, can I use an ability? Can abilities modify critical chance? Surely they can. Maybe. Ability. Well, increase critical damage, rather. I don't want to have it modify critical chance because I do want that element of risk to it. Because I want the lack of defense to matter, and that kind of adds to like the devilish theme of it. Because you may not get your wish, even though you did risk. It's part of the risk. Increase crit chance. No abilities look like they can only modify crit chance. Well, I want to modify critical damage. Okay, well, scratch that idea. Okay. So, gets actor value damage threshold. Just do this the dumb way. So if this is 32, turn unlock on. Multiply critical damage by 0, so it actually gives you no critical damage. Are all the Fallout 3 weapons technically still in the game? Yes, I believe. I know the combat shotgun is still in the files. I think the... Okay, well, base game Fallout 3. Combat shotgun is... Assault rifle is... 32 pistol obviously is... the double barrel from Point and Lookout is. I believe the infiltrator from the pit is like that weird like stockless assault rifle. I'm not sure about the alien weapons. I think the alien weapons are. I'm not sure if their high res textures are. Because I know I've seen them in mods before, but they had awful textures because they weren't assigned to use first person textures, assuming they're even in the files. I don't think what else. Yeah, I think those are the only unused weapons. But I don't know. I thought about adding the combat shotgun, but I mentioned this in the stream I did the other day, but I feel like the 32 and the double barrel, like, just kind of fits. They both fit aesthetically and functionally in New Vegas's weapons sandbox, because, as I mentioned before, the 22 ammo type is really underused, and they're, like, only used for, like, weapons intended for stealth. So the 22 revolver is kind of like a higher damage, more aggro alternative to the silenced pistol. And as far as the double-barreled shotgun goes, there is no high-level shotgun that is multicast, like fires 2 shells at once, and he has to reload after every shot. So like a high-tier equivalent to the single shotgun, the sawed-off, and then ending on the double barrel. The normal progression ends at the riot shotgun, so like the double barrel fulfills the role as the super burst damage alternative to the riot shotgun's DPS. Now, the combat shotgun has a case to be made because I believe the lever action shotgun is the highest level 20 gauge shotgun. So there is room for a higher level 20 gauge, but my problem with it is aesthetically. The assault rifle and the combat shotgun are so... They're very pre-war military-esque, whereas the 22 and the double barrel are like obviously like civilian grade weapons. So like these weapons would just kind of exist all over the wasteland, but the combat shotgun and the assault rifle I feel like need some kind of justification. And in New Vegas there's not much of that. There's actually very little like pre-war military representation in the Mojave. Well, I guess maybe I could add him to Lonesome Road. That would make sense. It's an interesting idea. Yeah. We'll see about that. Yeah, actually, yeah, I'm kind of liking that. Maybe I'll do that. Give the marked men them. Kind of diversify their weapons a bit. Yeah. You've given me an idea. Anyway, right. Scale critical damage. This is kind of a dumb way because I need to... Okay, well, first of all, let me start out with the highest this could go, because that makes more sense. Calculates critical hit damage. Let's say when you have 0 DT. Yeah, sorry if I just like rambled off there, but like I was like slowly putting the pieces together, and yeah, I really like the idea of adding them to Lonesome Road. Because they are, like I said, the assault rifle and combat shotgun are very military, like pre-war military weaponry. Uh-oh. Oh, thought I ran out of background ambience. Yeah, they would fit there a lot better. And I would feel more justified in adding them. Hmm. Okay. Gets actor value. Damage threshold. So if you have 0 damage threshold, let's say we multiply the critical damage by 2.5? Well, first of all, let's see, what would that equal? That would be 40, 42? Math? 20, 32. Let's see, it'd be 40, I think. So that'd be 40 damage. Well, 56, because I think critical damage is stacked on top of regular damage. Yeah, that would make sense. So do 46 damage a shot on a crit. That doesn't sound quite worth it. So what if we do 5? Okay, let me just pull up a calculator so I don't gotta embarrass myself with how bad I am at math. Okay, so 16 times 5. That'll do 80 damage a shot. And didn't I lower the crit chance on this a bit? Where's crit chance? Crit multiplier. So we can also balance this around it actually having a reduced base critical chance, which I think is a good idea, because there are a lot of ways to get extra critical chance. I'm less concerned about this being overpowered than I am just like, I want you to really have to feel the requirements to get the most out of it. So let's have the critical chance on this for now. Okay, so 5 times 5. 5 is a little high. Be 96 damage. That's like just a bit short of an anti-material rifle shot. Is that too much? No, let's actually like just see how this feels. So this perk should already be on there. Critical chance 1. Okay, so let me go here, go in game. COC NVM cell hell. Little black gun. I also gave it a red glow sight, you know, for the devil theme. Okay, T detect slow. Is that a yep? Okay, let me add player dot add perk NV living anatomy. Or is it just living anatomy? Okay, now we can see. We'll see how often this crits with 0.5. So a Deathclaw has about 500 health, I believe. Hello, how are you, sir? With 80 health. 500. Ooh, does that include sneak attack criticals? It does, doesn't it? just want to... Okay, so actually making this a sneak attack critical powerhouse would be kind of fun because it is an unsilenceable weapon. So it's like you do get that huge burst damage shot out of the gate, but you are like exposed immediately since the weapon is not suppressed. Okay, maybe the critical chance should be higher. I feel like this wouldn't feel very rewarding. Like, God, we're on a dry streak, ain't we? And this is with 5 luck, so base stats. So, well, that's a question. Should this be good just relying on your base luck, or should you have to build into it? I'm sure the action RPG obsessives would prefer that you have to build into it to make it good, but there's a balance there. But, yeah. You do get that bonus one way or another with sneak attack, so that's another angle to consider. Oh yeah, I know it has no audio. I silenced it so I don't have to hear every 5 seconds. Okay, well let's try a crit mult of 75. Detect. Nope. Right. That's getting confused. Right. Let me just do this. Player.mod AV speed mult 500. Wee. Oh, I don't have God mode on. Glad I turned that on before I killed myself. Right. Okay, let me player.add perk finesse. Okay, so let's see how this goes with 0.75 and finesse. Okay, yeah, the scales with crit chance bonuses pretty damn well. Although that might have just been luck of the draw. Well, it certainly made it a little more consistent. Okay, now player.modav luck 5. So this is 10 luck with finesse. Let's see how quick we get a kill here. I wish you'd stop wiggling around. Mod AV speed mults minus 500. Oh, you still get to move around. Hmm. I don't know, this... I guess I would have to get more feedback from other players to decide how to really feel about this. Like, I feel like you aren't getting the kills, the, like, crits super often. So it kind of makes the effect feel like you're not getting much out of it for the risk you're taking to have minimal defense. But you do get the guaranteed sneak crits. So, like, that's just gonna one-shot a lot of people. Like, if you're using this stealthily. Okay, so let me see how this goes in a battle with regular people who are aware of me. See how many one-shots I get. UTM 0.75, just slow things down a bit for testing purposes. Another thing to consider is that this thing has 5 shots. So you really can't be like spam clicking this thing all that much. So that's another thing to consider. Maybe I'm being overly cautious by reducing the critical chance. Maybe I don't need to do that. But I don't know. I feel it's fine. Luck builds are feasting and not like this gun is for Deathclaws first. There are plenty of other enemies who would get wrecked here. Yeah. Maybe I'm being overly cautious by nerfing the crit multiplier. Because I feel like that wasn't common enough to feel like it was justified against those fiends. So let me take the crit mult back to 1. Let's see how that goes. I feel like, so you get 5 rounds a magazine. I know it's not a magazine on this thing, but what the fuck ever. But I feel like you should get at least 1 crit per load to feel like this thing is worth the risk you're taking. Okay, so player DGM player.mod AV speed mode 600 and turn on T detect for now so I don't get me done. Will you piss right the fuck off? Okay. Okay, let's quick save. Let's T-detect. Let's see. So this is not built for luck with 1.0 critical chance. Let's give it a whirl. Wait, did I turn T-detect? Yes. Hello. That should be counting shots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1. Okay, so that didn't... Maybe I even need to buff the critical damage for, especially for 0 DT to get this bonus we have. Ah, God damn this hit shader. Yeah. So maybe... I think it should be buffed, the damage. Let's say... Oh, you know what? I don't know why I didn't think of this at first. Multiplies your crit damage by 6.66. There we go. Okay. So what does that bring it up to? 16 times 6.66? 106 damage a shot. That's enough to kill most common humans. I think it should be enough to kill fiends. Definitely enough to kill vipers and jackals and powder gangers. So that's, how much more damage is that? Yeah, an extra 25 damage. That would be worth it. Let's give this a whirl. Because it was feeling bad to get the criticals, but then the target is still alive. You want the criticals to kill them. Okay, so TG. Hello? One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess it doesn't matter if I'm not hitting the shots, if I count them or not. Okay, that was 3 shots to kill. Maybe I was being super overly cautious, and this actually needs bonus critical chance to be viable. Okay. Although, hold on. Player dot add perk finesse. Player dot mod AV luck 5. Okay, so here's critical buff. Yeah. Yeah, I think I was being just super overly cautious, thinking I needed to nerf the critical chance. Because now I'm thinking it needs to be higher. To make this just feel like it's worth using. One, 2, 3, 1. Okay. Wonder if Very Evil Karma Volt Boy can be incorporated into crit messages with this weapon specifically. That'd be fun. I was thinking earlier, like, what could I put as like a draw sound for this weapon? And my mind went to the game Clover Pits, and the little thing when you start a run in that game is you hear this voice say, "Let's go gambling." Be fun. That might take something from Stewie's tweaks to implement, though. Or I don't know, something advanced script. I'm pretty sure there's no mechanism in the vanilla game to override the crits icon. Right, so yeah, I think it's warranted to increase the crit chance of this. Now, just for the sake of testing, let's see what it feels like with 6.66% critical multiplier. Oh, what time is it? I'm supposed to watch Animals with my friend at 8 o'clock. It's 5:30. Oh no, I revealed my time zone. Oh no. Okay. TGM. Okay, that was 2. That's a reload. That was another 3 to kill him. Okay. Okay. Honestly, considering how powerful weapons like you can get with just vanilla weapons, this doesn't seem too unreasonable. Like, oh no, I killed a fiend in one shot with a headshot, and it was complete RNG. Like, that might be plenty balanced on its own. Okay, this is not with finesse though, right? Yeah. That was 3 shots. That was 1 shot. Let's pretend I killed someone there. That was 5 shots. That's a reload. 4 shots. Reload. 1 shots. Shots. That's reload. 1 shots. Okay, maybe 6.66 is a little too high. Maybe lower that a bit. But I don't know. I mean, I would be okay, like, releasing this as is and nerfing it later, but... who knows if I might make someone very mad if I did that. It's an interesting idea. Yeah, when it's not critting, it is a little pea shooter, and you are taking the risk with 0 DT, which is not something I'm really measuring the impact of since I'm using God mode. Very true, and I actually have nerfed player HP quite a bit. Let me pull up my change log here, which I've exhaustively logged. What did I do? Character. Now, mechanics. Yeah, I reduced base health from 100 to 75. I've nerfed the amount of HP per point of endurance from 20 to 5. And I made it so that you don't gain plus 5 health after leveling after level 30. So yeah, it might be enough. This is what playtesting is for. I can't really guess how I would feel about it just off me running these really really isolated tests. But yeah, I think that's okay to leave it as is for now. And then maybe when the mod is released, comments can tell me if they think this weapon is maybe too good. Hopefully they don't, because like then I can be like, haha, the critical multiplier is 6.66. Its value is 666, even though for some reason in game it says 656. The site FOV is 66.6. The health is 666. It's just so thematic. Yeah, without crits, this is 47 damage per second. It might be enough. Okay, I gotta use the bathroom. Water. Alrighty then. Does endurance get you anything good aside from HP? 5 per point sounds like it'd be quite a dump stat. Yes, it's actually the formula that the NPCs use. They get 5 per endurance. So in that regard, it was kind of intended as an equalizer. But you raise a good point, is makes endurance feel kind of useless to raise. I mean, honestly, if you compare it to any other stat, like how much do you get from other stats on a point-by-point basis? Like strength, you get plus 5 carry weight per point, and then some amount of extra melee damage, which honestly I've never noticed enough to really care about it that much. Perception, it's hard to quantify the compass range benefit. Honestly, aside from critical builds, you know, luck, critical chance, honestly, most of the special stats don't really give you all that much. So if anything, it's bringing endurance in line with those. Where it does come in value, though, is as perk requirements. But yeah, that's something to think about. I'm not sure. Honestly, maybe I could increase it to 10 and then maybe also increase the NPC's health formula to get 10 per point of endurance. Because actually, something I'm doing in this mod, which I think might be a little controversial, is I'm making a lot of human enemies more durable. Because, frankly, a problem with the difficulty in this game is that enemies often don't have enough health to pose much of a threat. Like, you just shoot them like a couple times and they're dead before they can ever manage to attack you. Especially since their detection AI is fairly limited. They have very little ability to fight you at range effectively. Yeah, we'll see about that. Oh, and it is? Right, right, okay. Actually, yeah, it is 10 in my mod. I was just thinking it was 5 for some reason. Um, yeah, but I mean, you know, it's still not that much. And I actually added weights to all of the chems and magazines, so that's a lot of additional inventory management. And I did the Jay Sawyer thing where I reduced the base carry weight from 150 to 50. So with one strength, you get 60 carry weight. Yeah. I mean, I did buff it. Regardless of actually whether I buffed it, it does make perks like Life Giver more appealing, doesn't it? And this requires endurance. You know, gain an additional 30 hit points. That's what that would be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. That would be 6 points of endurance, which actually lines up perfectly with the fact that it requires 6 endurance. But yeah. It's like it's the problem with action RPGs, isn't it? Is you kind of want to balance the game to be fun and challenging from an action game perspective, but you want the RPG mechanics to feel like they matter too. And the question is, how do you reconcile those two things? Because in my opinion, the player character is simply far too durable in the vanilla game. Yeah, balancing is tough. Like, God, game design. Who knew it was so difficult? So many factors to consider. And I'm not even really doing game design. I'm just modifying an existing design. It gives me the power of hindsight. Oh, here's an important change I should make. I should change... Oh, impulse distance. Impulse distance is weird. Actually don't really know exactly what this does. I think it's like... So kill impulse, that's like the physics effect when you kill a target with a weapon. I think impulse distance is like... If you're greater than this distance, then the kill impulse does not apply. Anyway, I'm getting off topic to whatever the hell it is I'm trying to talk about. Right. Anyway, what do I want to do? Howdy, Cellblock. It has been a minute since you've seen a stream from me, and that's because it's been a minute since I've streamed, really. I streamed yesterday, and I think the day before that, too, but that's, it's an unusual streak. Okay, so we got shooting arm. I don't know why this is, but I mentioned earlier that I'm using some resources from Jesus H. Christ for perk icons, and some of them I've edited, and for some reason, this little preview of the perk icon knows that I've edited them, and it's like showing where I like cut one of the layers apart to stitch it onto the other layer, and it's really weird. I don't know why it tracks that, because this is not what the texture looks like in-game at all. Okay. Trying to think, what else did I want to do? Let me see here. Andromeda, you wanna cooperate? Oh, I could show you something. So I mentioned what I did with the sturdy caravan shotgun and the mercenary grenade rifle, where I turned them into weapon mods for the base game weapons. What I decided to do with the weathered 10mm is I have added it to the vanilla 10mm pistol leveled lists at like an absurdly low ratio. So you can just find them anywhere, in most places, like on enemies and such, that you would find a 10mm pistol, but just at a very low chance. So this box right here has 400 instances of what I've renamed the heavy pistol, and only four out of all these spawns spawned as a heavy pistol. So that's absurdly rare, but I decided to go with that. And what I decided to add is a challenge, where if you find one, you get a little challenge complete. So it's like a little hidden achievement to say, hey, I didn't really expect you to find this too easily, but you did. Yeah. Here's the caravan shotgun. Uses that. Which I don't think any other mod has ever decided to implement the DLC weapons this way. Hold on, is this using the first person texture? Looks a little low res. Granted, I don't use the caravan shotgun all that much. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen another mod that implements those that way. Yeah, so Cellblock, what this mod is it's a, broadly speaking, an overhaul, but it's not shying away from like adding new content and stuff. So that's one of the fun things I wanted to do. Something I was working on earlier is this trait called Dead Man, where every day, roughly, you permanently lose 5 hit points. And if you complete the game, and I'm kind of deciding if I want to have that include the DLCs as well, you'll unlock a reward that you can use on future saves. But to do that, I guess I'm going to have to figure out how NVSC, like, innies work, because I actually don't know how to do that. But yeah, I wanted to have fun with stuff like that and make the... Because there's so many overhauls out nowadays, I want to give a reason to want to play mine and actually stick with it for a playthrough. Now what do I want to do? I'm trying to think. Let me pull up my change log. Wasn't there something I was working on? Yeah, the icon resource pack from Jesus H. Christ has been really valuable in terms of brainstorming, because there's just lots of art that really can serve as the basis of ideas. I will like publish this changelog with the mod, but I do want to black some stuff out for like secrets, because again, I want this to kind of feel like a fresh twist on the game, because like people have been playing this game for years, so like I want to add like the feeling of discovering something new. So even if they go through the changelog, there will be some things they won't quite be aware of unless they purposely spoil themselves. Didn't I? Right, gun nuts. Okay, so gun nuts I've kind of implemented as a Fallout 4-esque mechanic where you can convert weapons into alternative versions. Like one really popular example being the service rifle. I know a lot of people like kind of wish it was automatic because it looks like an M16. So that's one of the possible conversions. Also, I have the grenade launcher that uses the rockets from Lonesome Road because that's a I don't know, the red glare was always kind of an annoying weapon to use. I feel like this would be like more easy to work into like your loadout. Speaking of which, well, what would be another weapon conversion that would make sense? Whip. Die nuts. I thought I made a grenade rifle that uses 25mm. Unless I just did the recipe for that. Yes. Okay, so here's some things I can just do real quick. Okay, so a 308 5.56mm. Let's do that real quick. NVM WEP 308 pistol. I'm playing like fast and loose with like the realism of these gun nut weapons, but I want to like make them feel a little logical. The 556, it was always described kind of weirdly as a rifle that was cut down into a pistol. So it makes sense, I guess, to have a 308 version. Ammo list 308s. Okay, so this should deal a lot more damage. How much does a hunting rifle do? It's like 50, 52. Okay, so make this deal like... Make it deal 48. Make it less accurate. But it keeps the bonus critical chance of the regular 556. Make the strength requirement 7. I'll raise the critical damage as well to match the higher damage. So make this 45. I like nice round numbers. Well, round as in increments of 5. Okay, so that'll be a fun little addition. Place this in the test cell. Where is must be? Oh, right, I should add 556 ingredients. Generally, I'm having the like crafting recipes for this be the weapon itself, and then a mod from a relevant alternative weapon. In this case, being a hunting rifle custom action. So this will create NVM. Wait, no. Weapons NVM WEP 308's pistol. I should implement this as a leveled list so you get them in a variety of conditions, maybe. Wondering actually Because this will add a fair few number of recipes to the workbench. If maybe I should put them in a dedicated gun nut category instead of weapons. But weapons isn't really used that much, especially since I created an explosives category. We'll see. Right. Okay. The 10mm pistols can convert to use 44 ammo. NVM WEP 44 pistol. Ammo list 44 Magnum. Let's bump this up to 32, which I believe is the 44 revolver's damage. We'll lower the capacity. Where's capacity? Oh, there it is. Lower the capacity to 8. Always wanted more New Vegas to have more craftable weapons. Yeah, on that note, I was thinking... Ding asked this earlier, if all of the Fallout 3 weapons are in the files, because most of them are, but now I'm wondering if the crafted weapons from Fallout 3 are in New Vegas. And if they are, and I think the railway rifle is at least... I might implement those as new craftable weapons, which may or may not require perks. Not sure about that. But this implementation of Gun Nut I thought would be really fun and really add a variety of weapons to use in late game, like experiments with different variables. I imagine the animations are because the double barrel shotgun animations from Point Lookout are present. Okay, sure. Okay, I think a general premise with these gun nut weapons is they should have like reduced accuracy. Maybe health. Oh, I should also change the sound. Okay. Weapon 44. Revolver. Fire. Ah! Jesus. I always forget that happens. Weapon 44. 3D dist. Weapon 44. 2D. Yeah, it's like all the animations are like assigned to certain presets, like right here, reload A. And it's pretty much just a trial and error process of figuring out what the hell represents what. It's not the fixer woozy sound. Okay, do I need to do anything else here? Ooh, I wonder if I should change the shell casings. Does that even have a unique casing for 44? Oh, the 44 doesn't have shell casings at all, which I guess makes sense, actually, because the casings are still, like, in the revolver. It's funny how guns work. Okay. Let me make this a little heavier, too, to represent. Okay. So if you craft this, you get the same damage as a regular 44, with less accuracy, but 2 extra bullets. And I think a faster reload? Increase the kill impulse to 13. Reminds me of another thing I'm trying to do. I've made a disease for my latest mod that you can get if you get hit by these diseased ghouls. I want something that gives a temporary cure to it, kind of like Fixer. Any ideas? Like most things, my first idea is to use a quest, because quests are just so versatile. So, have the item remove the effects. Actually, just for simplicity's sake, have taking the item start a quest that has 2 stages. The first stage removes the disease. And after that, have the quest script take however long you want the temporary aspect to be. And when it reaches that point, have it re-add the disease. And then stop the quest, I guess. So it'll like repeat the cycle if you use it, if that makes sense. I'm sorry. I'm really rambling when I'm trying to like explain things. It's like if you go back in the stream to when I was working out the dead man walking trait. But maybe you get what I'm going for. Basically, have a quest that removes the disease, but then when the quest finishes, have it re-add the disease. Yeah. The hardest part is just designing a script that takes however long you would need it to. Which, on that note, I guess I could show you the script I came up with for Dead Man Walking. Right, so we begin game mode. We have 2 variables, int days logged, int days logged total. So whenever this script fires, set days logged total to game days passed. So we're constantly making this equal to however game days have passed. If days logged, this first variable, is less than days logged total, set days logged to days logged total, and then do whatever you want to do. And this fires roughly once a day. It is important that they are int variables, though. That's something I had to figure out when I was writing this. Basically, decimals are the enemy. Ah, Dayglow Drifter. A pleasant evening to you as well. Right. So, add the 44 pistol to the recipe. Throw this in the test cell. Simple, efficient, glorious. Have a plan to kill everyone you meet. Can't say the same for some of the spaghetti in this game. Try looking at V Faction Squad quests. That's what I'm messing with right now. Oh god. I can't even begin to imagine how that is set up. Oh my Jesus, fuck! That's a bit of an overload, isn't it? Jesus. I don't even know where... I think this would be easier to just come up with your own system than reverse engineer within whatever the fuck is going on here. Christ. Thanks for all these comments, I guess, but Jesus. Fuck. I don't even know where to begin. This is some Yandere dev shit right here. Oh god, there's more? There's more? Oh no. Done, dude. Thanks. Oh god. Yeah, I don't know. If I ever end up doing something like that, and I might, since I am, like, exploring the ideas for, like, new perks and traits in this mod, I think I might just come up with my own system. That just seems like a lot to get into. Did Ulysses write that? Oh, Lord. Jesus Christ. NVM whip. Oh, right, I need to make the heavy version of this as well. Speaking of the heavy pistol, or the weathered 10mm pistol, I kind of want to adjust its texture, because I've always kind of hated how it looks. I hate that shine it has on it. Okay. NVM pre-ordered 10mm pistol heavy. 44 heavy pistol. Okay, we gave it 8. Gave it 32 damage. We gave it 32 crit damage, I think. We gave it 13 kill impulse. And that's, well, reduced health as well. Let's reduce this version to 90. God, I'm burping. Sorry. Weapon 40. Weapon. Not shit. I'm fucking up my typing. Weapon 44. Weapon 44. And there we go. It's kind of funny that the empty ammunition sound is specifically designated for 10mm, even though I don't believe there is any other empty ammo sound. I guess it implies they were thinking of doing that, but it's like, and who the fuck cares? I think I looked into how the Fallout 3 random encounters work, and it seemed a lot simpler than that. I can only imagine how Baldur's Gate 3 looks like internally, just because I've yet to play it, and honestly, I might not, because I've heard it's got like AI shit. I know, like I don't know, but I stick by my principles. Anyway, it sounds like there's a lot of stuff going on. It sounds like the whole game looks like that faction squad script. Right, does this have everything? It should increase the strength requirement to... Wait, does this have a lower strength requirement than the regular 10mm? No. Why did I think it had a... Did I increase the strength requirement on this? I didn't, but I should. Let's raise that to 6. Actually, what does the 44 use? Uses 5. I think 6 makes sense, since the 10mm, the 44 pistol rather, has been like modified to use an ammo it's not really designed for. So I think that makes sense to represent that in the form of a higher strength requirement. Also, I just noticed apparently the weathered pistol has a skill requirements, unlike the regular 10mm. pay to win much. Okay. Create new form. Do that. I hate how fiddly the physics grab is. This doesn't work half the time. Okay, so let me do this. Settle. Let me add that pistol to the recipe. NVM recipe gun. Outputs. There we go. I want to see how it sounds to shoot these things as fast as you can. The 44 Magnum sound. CCNBN cell. Hell. Oh right, I don't have sound on, so I'll have to turn that on. Okay. TGM. So this isn't a problem necessarily, but this is not using the sound effects from that really good gun sound mod, Awesomer, that I think I have installed, which kind of sucks. I'm not sure how I could fix that. I might have to do a... My god, I might have to make a mod compatibility patch, which is something I ordinarily never do, because I can't be bothered. Alright, well that'll be fun. Automatic surface rifle. Also, I showed this already, but I did restore a mod that was buried in the files. A little reflex sight. That's fun. It has a terrible texture that is like... Well, first of all, it's like not see-through, so you can't even use it properly, but restored it, as it were, called nice. Oh, okay. Now, what did I do with the 9mm? Yes. It's kind of a weird one, but I figured why not let you modify the 9mm to use 22 ammo? Could have, like, extra capacity in exchange for lower damage. Maybe I could give it the bonus critical damage modifier. Yeah, that would give it a niche. What should I call it? Because 22... No, 22... I could call it 22 pistol, because the other one's called the Silence 22 pistol. Right? 22. 22 revolver, and we have Silence 22 pistol. I can just call this the 22 pistol. So this will have 10 damage. Well, actually... should it do more? I'll have it do 1 more damage. Actually, I'll have it do the same damage as the revolver, which does a bit more damage. I'll have it do 14. Which is actually not much lower than its base damage, actually. But maybe we'll do 12. I think that works. So ammo, 22. started reading a Western today and stopped hating Fallout New Vegas. Sorry, I might get into some mod writing tonight as well. Oh god. I've been trying to read more. I read a couple books last year, but I have a book I checked out right now like a month ago, and I've actually not read any of it at all. I don't know, I just get distracted and I want to do other things. Okay, so this will have reduced damage, but it will have 18 bullets in a mag, and it will have the bonus critical property. So that will give it a niche. Oh. Almost overwrote the base object. NVM WEP 22 pistol. You know, I think I'll also remove the ability to attach the extended mag. The Buffalo Hunter. Might have to see if my library has that. That actually sounds kind of interesting. Okay, so this has a bit of extra ammo, but you can't attach the extended mag. Reduced damage, but bonus critical damage, which shall be... Let's raise it to 20. But technically, it would do as much damage as a 44 when it crits. And how much extra crit chance does the 22 pistol get? It gets... Where is it? Critical. It's 3. Let's make that 2. Just so it has some downside compared to the proper Silence 22. Righty then. Yeah, shoot, what time is it? $6:30. Okay, the automatic rifle. So the automatic rifle rechambered to 5.56. So how would I balance this? Obvious thing would be lower damage, but increased magazine. Let's try 26. That's 5 higher than the LMG. But, well, it's lower magazine either way. Well, let's increase the magazine to 40 just for now. On the hit, we'll use a mix of explosions and cutting them off. We'll keep the bonus critical chance. Lower kill impulse, just for that. And we'll change the sound to the light machine gun. Which is... where the hell is that? What does it use? Uses the 10mm SMG sound, really? I never knew that. 10mm SMG. Oh, it actually does not have a distance sound, which I guess makes sense, because it's not really a weapon that NPCs would use, but we can give it one. Modern day sections as well, where there's a researcher going through all these diaries. That sounds really right up my alley. I love like a good investigative story alongside like, you know, just straight up horror. Okay, so we got that. Right, so doubled magazine capacity, reduced damage. Still maintains the bonus critical chance of the regular automatic rifle. And we'll lower the strength requirement to 7 since it's, you know, a lighter caliber, but it's still a big-ass gun. Alright, so NVM WEP auto rifle 5.56, and what should I name this? Just call it converted automatic rifle, or should I specify 5.56 in the name? I think I'll just call it converted automatic rifle for now, to be honest. Oh, here's a fun weapon conversion from GunNet, by the way. It's actually kind of hidden because it requires additionally that you have Demolition Expert. But you can give the double-barreled shotgun the ability to fight 25mm grenades. And it shoots 2 at once. So that's fun. Okay, Caravan Shotgun. This is another one that is like a popular mod I've seen in other things. The weapons that shoot multiple at a time, being able to just convert them to only shoot one at a time. And so the natural opposite of that is like the Caravan Shotgun. Let it shoot twice with one trigger. Okay, so let me grab the Caravan Shotgun. NVM WEP Caravan Shotgun SG SGDT for double trigger. Double trigger Caravan Shotgun. Okay, so we'll buff the projectile count to 14. Buff the damage to 112. And actually it should be more, it should be slightly more than just mathematically equal, shouldn't it? So add another Add another 14 to it. 28. 128. Use 2 ammo. And increase the spread a smidge. Don't really need to increase anything else, I suppose. I don't think I said this to use the first person, but I can fix that later. Okay. Create new form. Dump these in the test cell because I just like the idea of having a test cell that people can visit if they so choose. And add this to the outputs. I have so many gun barrel recipes. Oh, shit. Okay. So now we're doing the opposite for the double barrel. Have it shoot one at a time. Consequently, it reduced the damage by another 14. Be 168. How much damage is that per pellet, actually? 168 divided by 7. 24 damage a pellet. That's a little nutty. Maybe I should reduce that more. Let's say 168 minus 14. Go with 154, which is 22 damage per pellet. Whatever. It's supposed to be an endgame weapon, or at least you'll need really high stats to get it. Okay. HT. Behold, obscenely long item names. That's all that needs to be done with that. Let's see how the double trigger caravan shotgun feels. Just break up the monotony a bit. Shut the up. Oh, threw it into the void. Player.add item ammo 20 gauge 1000. So you didn't know there's actually a variant of God mode called TDM, which is just God mode, but you still have to reload your guns, which I guess I should have been using earlier when I was testing the little black gun, but I hindsight's 2020. Okay, so CRC Vault 3. That's not a place. COC. You know what? Just take Naked Springs. Hello, I have a weapon to test. Pretty effective. Okay, so it's like 6 damage a pellet. So it's definitely weak against armor. Granted, my gun skill is not exactly very high right now. Let's see what this looks like with player.modav guns. 75. So with 90 gun skill, you get 10 damage a pellet. Not bad. It's 140 damage total. And honestly, with the gun nut weapons, I'm less concerned about them being balanced than I am with them being fun. Like, to just give you a reason to, like, use these lower tier, older weapons. Bunny hopping is so terrible. Look, I already made this video. How does this hold up against your armor, I wonder? Wait, you don't have armor. You're wearing the fatigues. Hello? Someone with armor? No? You don't have armor? Can I speak to your leader? You have armor? Yep. So it's powerful, but don't do shit against armor. This is actually something, this is one of the reasons I'm like buffing a lot of health for NPCs. Is like one of the aspects, the design aspects of the combat regarding shotguns never really quite added up. Like they're supposed to be really weak against light armor, but because everything has so much low health, rarely does enemy armor even matter that much. Because you just do enough damage on a base level to just kind of kill them without worrying too much about it. But as we demonstrated there... Okay, you just got destroyed, but that was a critical. That was a critical. And if we're being honest, this is what a shotgun should feel like in a video game, is it not? Especially like something you reload after every shot. You are punished for missing. Got that reload time. Here's someone with armor. Oh, leveled up again. Alright, before I exit the game, as I don't believe anyone here still watching saw the stream last night, but Something I worked on last night was I was adding face paint to the Vipers, since they're like kind of intended to be more tribalistic and spiritual than the other raiders. So let's see if any of them spawned. Okay, I'll just use this weapon enough. Any of them show up? Doesn't look like it. I guess you could just flip through that stream, but yeah. Oh. What time is it? Alright, you know what? I have a meeting with a friend of mine, and I should probably eat something, so I'm going to end the stream here. Thanks everyone who came by to talk, but I'll be going now. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.